Hello everyone, I'm Andrzej Białecki and I'm here with Get Right. Please tell me a little bit about physical activity and how it can affect a pro player's gameplay.
That was a tricky question if you ask me. Physical training, well, just doing any physical training will help your mentality and help your health in general. I don't know, to be honest, I'm not that fully trained or fully ready to answer exactly what you need to do and everything like that, but try it out and see if it works for you, to be honest. It always helps your health and it always helps your game, so you should do it.
As a professional player, would you like to have a maybe coach that would be responsible for your physical training?
Yeah, I would, and we have our mental coach that takes care of that. So me and him are training and everything like that all the time. So to get me back in shape and get my mind of state also back there. So it's always nice to have someone who's taking care of that area and actually gives you advices and know what to do and what to work on. Because even though I've been in the scene for a long time, it's always good to get some extra help, and he does a great, wonderful work with it.
When we are talking about physical activity, there is also a topic of nutrition. Do you think that esports players could use the help of a professional that could provide them with information about what they should eat before games and maybe how could they prepare themselves for those heavy loaded gameplay situations?
I believe so too. Health is like, if you feel healthy, you're gonna play better. It's a common knowledge, nothing special with it. So if you get the right sleep, right food, right schedule and everything like that, it works perfectly with it in general. It's always gonna go better, if you ask me. So I think it's always better to have, know what to eat and what to not eat, especially when you're away from home and traveling and so on. So you can, always stay up top of your game. So for sure, I know that, for example, it's very different from teams, like every team that plays. Some teams are very healthy, some teams are not, and everything like that. So it's whatever works for them. But I believe, end of the day, like it's always good to be, one step ahead and like actually eat good and everything like that.
You're one of the classic players playing for a really long time. What would you say would be the best tool for a maybe semi-professional or professional player to improve their gameplay?
It's actually very easy, but it's also very hard at the same time. And it's like that famous fatality clip that he's like saying train, 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 or something like that. And I believe that's the goal, how you do it. It's just training and show yourself and just, play. Eventually you will become pretty good. And I believe you even can come to the highest level if you do that. And everything like that. That's what I did. And here I am standing here almost over a decade later or something like that and still professional, so it says something about it.
What would be the training plan for you? Like you would go deathmatch or aim maps or sparring, and what would be the case for maybe a little lower skilled players?
I will always suggest deathmatch, always, even aim maps, and even like training bots. I believe that's the easiest way to, get control of your spraying, tapping, bursting, get a vibe of how you can do it perfectly. But also you force yourself to play as many officials as possible, because you always get a little bit nervous when you play official games, and it's always a good boost to force yourself into annoying situation, and doing that way you become much better, easier and faster, if you ask me. So that's what I would give as advice, at least.
Would you say that it's good to warm up on bots or maybe on aim map before going into matchmaking? Because we know that in CS, basically, you got some toxic players, and maybe those guys are not really the best when you're not prepared for those guys. So would you say that it's better to start with bots when you play and then go to matchmaking, or?
I will combine both. Matchmaking is something that you're gonna train yourself to be a little bit more serious. The other one you can take more like a easy and relaxed approach to. And I believe that if you play with bots and deathmatch and so on, you can become better and you can get a more understanding of the game. And more how the models inside of the game works and how you can tap and everything like that. So I believe it's like you should combine both of them and so on. I know there's a lot of toxic play in matchmaking and they're maybe not the best either. They're maybe probably not even better than yourself, or they are better than you. So you have to just tackle it pretty easy, knowing that you want to learn and you want to become better, not focusing too much on the toxicness, or how you say it, in the game. Just focus on yourself.
So if you're playing and you encounter a toxic player, what do you do to maybe block him out and not let him go into your head and make your gameplay worse?
Basically, just ignore him. Nothing else. I believe that he could also help me inside of the game, but at the same time, I believe 9 out of 10 times he can't really help me. So I will just ignore him and block him out from basically the game.
We have the recent Taz situation in Virtus Pro. What's your point of view on this situation? Do you think he will be back to the main squad and playing?
I'm pretty sure he's not going to come back. Or maybe, I don't know. I think it's... I think in a way it was about time, but it was not just him, for example. I don't think it would be him that would be removed or anything like that. But maybe it was about time for them to get some new blood. They've been playing since end of 2013, and that's a long time. Long time. So, I don't know. Sometimes new blood is a good thing, but at the same time, I believe new blood isn't all the answer to everything. That's what I believe. But I hope that he still continue playing, because I believe he's a great player, great person, and everything like that. And all of the guys from Virtus Pro is like that. It's just unfortunately of how the things happened, if you ask me. I believe someday all careers gonna end, but or playing with each other or etc. like that. But I was pretty sure it wasn't gonna happen now, but it happened.
You pointed out that every career has to end, and maybe what is the best retirement for a professional CSGO player? Do you go coaching? Do you go analyst? Do you maybe go and organize some tournaments for amateurs? Or what's your point of view on that?
Whatever makes you happy.
And what would be it for you? Like, if you retire someday, what would make you happy about maybe continuing on your passion for esports and the gameplay? Or you would maybe go away from that life?
Tricky question. I don't know, to be honest. I haven't figured it out. I'm not 100% sure what I really want to do afterwards and everything, but I'm starting to come closer to my goal with it. But I want to at least stay in esports, but doing exactly something special or whatever it is, I don't know yet, but in esport at least.
Playing for a very long time makes you an experienced player. What would be the stages of being amateur and then after that becoming a professional gamer? Did you see any of that maybe evolving over time, the stages of becoming a professional player?
I didn't really see it, to be honest. I just felt that I became much better. Nothing really that stood out or anything like that. I just knew that every player and every team has their own style, and their style usually is not changed that a lot. So I could easily read them off if I watch a lot of demos on different teams. That's something, but in general, I don't know. I just felt that I became better, but I didn't really know what and everything.
Would you say that it's better to review your own mistakes by yourself, or maybe send some demo to someone else so he can have an objective point of view on your mistakes and maybe help you a little bit with that? What's your way of getting help to maybe tackle some problems of gameplay?
I would say both of them. Like, you should always review yourself and always understanding why you did this and why you didn't do that and everything like that. But also get another point of view on things, because it's always better to see what they believe and what they think is wrong and right and everything like that. So I think you should combine both of them.
So would you say that a player should also review his own replays, and if he gets a coach, maybe be active into the process and plan the training also? Yep. And what would be, maybe if you disagree with your coach, what then?
Well, you can always disagree to what the coach is saying and everything like that, but at the same time you have to always see the bigger picture and knowing that he wants what's best for you and also for the team. So you have to also take it in account that you're gonna be having fights and everything like that that you don't really agree, but you have to always see the bigger picture and everything.
Seeing esports grow, because you're an experienced player, we've already established that. What do you think the Katowice looks right now and how it looked before?
It's amazing involvement, if you ask. Oh, sorry. It's amazing to see how much it's grown. It's way more professional than it was the first time I was here. The city itself is nice. The people are nice. Everyone is friendly. Everything is. It's good, if you ask me. I don't really have anything that really stands out saying this was improvement or anything like that. I just feel like every year they've been improving on every single part.
When traveling or maybe outside of Spodek, do you get a lot of people asking you for pictures? Because I know it might be harsh for players when they try to travel and maybe move around Spodek, because you get asked a lot. Is it also the situation with your team?
I really haven't had that much problem this time, to be honest. I did some like signature and photos and so on, but this time it's actually been pretty calmed down. I haven't been that much, and I believe I've been taking the right way, basically, so avoiding people. But pretty soon we're gonna do a signing, for example, so that's gonna be nice.
Would you say it's more empowering, your own gameplay, that people recognize you and ask for signing sessions and autographs, or would it be rather bothering you more before the game?
I think it's better to do after games, not before, because before you're already doing all your mental training and all your preparation, your mind and with your team and everything like that. So I'd rather do it after always. Because it can disturb you inside of the game. Someone of the fans can maybe be rude against you and you get a little bit off topic, or they can also be very nice, you get more happier and everything like that. But I always believe it's much better to do it afterwards.
What questions to avoid if a team lost their games and you're a fan and try to like approach them for like autograph or something like that? What would you say is like the worst topic someone can bring up when someone just lost a game?
It's pretty much the game that you just lost. So anything about the game is pretty bad, if you ask me. I think it's kind of hilarious when, at least afterwards, not at the moment, but like when people are saying, "Hey, unlucky there, you almost had a game," and you're like, "Yeah, I don't really want to talk about it." So it's more like that.
What would you say to your fans and people all over the world watching you, so they could maybe support you a little more when you're playing the games? Because we know that there is always haters trying to bring you down a little bit. And what's your way of coping with that, and how could other people bring you up and not down?
Just take in that people will not agree with everything that you do and what you say and so on, but it's also a good experience to see it and learn by it, because sometimes you can use that energy that's been bad against you and use it as a fuel to become much better.
There is lots of young people trying to become professional gamers, and if they don't succeed, what would be your tip for them to still stay in esports and maybe evolve the scene?
I don't really know exactly, because I did this path and I succeed with it, so I don't really know exactly what to do and everything outside of that, so I don't really have any good tips, to be honest.
Just for the end, would you like to say something to your supporters and fans watching all the games and supporting you all the time?
Very grateful for you watching this game and following my team and following me and everything like that, and thanks to all our sponsors and everything. I mean, you're basically making my life as a dream, and working with this game that I'm doing and being a professional to travel around the world. I'm very thankful for that, and go Ninjas.
Thank you very much for the interview. I was here with Get Right, and I hope you'll be watching next interviews.